Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's FPV podcast. We have another team that went to Dover on this week, and it's great to meet Capital Quads. So, before we introduce the entire team, which is a first for us, we got 4 people on, which is pretty awesome. But, Elvin, say hello first.
Hey, everybody. Hope you guys check out these new batteries that just came out. They're not expensive. They're not bad. They're just useful. That's all I can say at this time. But I'm testing them. Check them out. Florian 4S 1500. Same size as a thrust, 1500. Peace out.
Dude, it's not green. You traitor, you.
Hey, man, money is money, man. When they put the money down, that's when the money got to move.
Okay. All right. Before we get into all the conversation, let's go ahead and introduce Capital Quads. Alex, why don't you start us off, please?
Hey guys. I'm Alex Moreno. My pilot handle is Scud Runner. I'm the manager for the Capital Quads here in the DC metro area.
Awesome. Great to meet you, Alex. Andreas, next.
What's up, guys? My name is Andres Espinosa, also known as Dax FPV online. I like to call myself the team captain for Capital Quads. So
awesome. You post a lot on social media. I see your videos like every week.
Yeah, I try to. It's a job right there. It's a job.
It is. LV, please introduce yourself.
Hey, hello everyone. My name is LVG, and I do not look like the picture that you see over here.
But it's a cool picture.
Yeah. So I'm probably the slowest pilot in the group, and I'm proud of it. At least I'm on a nice group,
Pretty awesome, man.
Yep.
That's not true. He's not the slowest.
He's not the slowest. Okay. Well, you know what? He's being humble until he pushes past you guys. That's how it goes. All right, Brent. What about you? What you got?
Hey, I'm Brent Kellawan, and I live in Bowie, Maryland. My pilot name is very simple, Brent. I just love flying. I guess I'll call myself the training coordinator of the team. I've kind of stepped up in organizing training sessions, and we really get serious in these sessions. So yeah.
Pretty cool. Yeah, and we got a chance to talk to you a lot in Dover and also just before this call, and you guys really hang out together, which is pretty cool. You get a lot of people that they're not as closely niche as you guys are, I feel, but it's really nice to hear from the entire team. So, Alex, we'll start off with you again. How'd you get into FPV?
So I've been into RC forever, 10 plus years. I talked with Elvin a little bit about the original T-Rex helicopter. I've raced RC cars. I've flown helicopters, planes, and we're just tired of crashing helicopters and repairing. So drone racing kind of started up, and I enjoy racing and the technical aspect of it. So naturally it attracted me, and I kind of jumped into it. I guess a year and a half ago or so, about 2 years ago. Yeah.
Pretty cool. All right. Andreas, what about you, man?
So I think I might be one of the newest to the RC world. It's kind of funny. Like, I think it was 2002. I got my first plane.
That is not young.
It literally lasted 10 minutes. Like my friend who was my body box in that time, he flew it up. Then he passed to me. We didn't trim our controllers before taking up. So my plane literally just went down, it dove, and it crashed. And that was it. That was it till a year and a half ago when I first quadcopter.
Okay, pretty cool. And everybody started about a year and a half, 2 years ago, except for maybe Elvin. But he's like 70, though. You kind of expect that.
Jesus.
LV, what you got? The self-proclaimed newbie. So when did you start? How'd you get into FPV?
Well, at first I started flying planes, and actually the gliders, which by now I think they're boring because they're So how I got into FPV, my daughter for Christmas got a little quadcopter, the little mini ones.
Uh-huh.
So she was flying it, on the living room, and she was doing well. And then I asked her, "Can I try it?" And then that was my first crash, unfortunately. And there is one word that she said that motivated me to start in quadcopters. She said, "You suck."
That's all it takes.
Then I've been building quads like a disease. I mean, I can't stop, Can't stop building, flying, and crashing.
Hey, you know what? Building is a lot of people in this community. I feel like they enjoy building more than flying because it's like every month it's like he has a new quad. That's got to be like 300 by now.
Sounds like Alex.
I tear them down and like I'll tear a quad apart and then move all its parts to another frame.
Oh,
there's something relaxing about building. Just opening a beer and start building with no rush. Just take your time.
That so first relaxing. Hover. What about that first hover? Like the first time it lifts off and everything is just smooth as ice.
You're going too far. Let's talk about the first time you plug that quadcopter in the battery.
And it doesn't smoke.
I take pictures.
The magic smoke. It's like, success.
Yeah. I take pictures of with the lights on. Like, oh look, it's plugged in.
It's live.
I made it again.
Yeah, it's when you don't make it that sucks. Brent, what about you? How'd you get into FPV?
I actually started. I had an obsession with these huge Traxxas trucks, E-Revos. Are you guys familiar with those?
Yeah, baby.
Yep.
And I had a few of them. And I'll tell you why I had a few of them. Because we myself and a group back in the day, we used to go to fields and have ramps and jump those things like, very high in the air and basically make these things fly through the air. And then one day I went into the hobby shop and I saw, drones. And then, once I flew my first drone, I never went back. I never went back to trucks. Wow. And maybe that's why I like jumping them so high and flying them through the air, because I wanted to fly.
Right.
That's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get into the stories of how you guys met each other, because you guys haven't told me anything about that. Who wants to start?
I guess I could start. So the way the team came together was one of the guys on the team. We're actually 8 of us right now. And one of our other team members, Alex Lane, knew a local organizer, and the organizer was trying to put a race together called Race X here at the Michael and Son Sportsplex out in Virginia, and it was a team event. It was actually a qualifier for Drone Nationals. And so the organizer was looking for more teams for the event, and Alex reached out to me, and I was like, all right, what the heck? Let's organize a formal team. And it was just kind of the group of us that had been hanging out and racing, and we just kind of reached out to people, and that's kind of how we came together. And we went to Race X for the first time as a team, and I mean, we didn't place very well. It was our first big event, but that's kind of how the team came together. And we had Andres was there racing as individual, not part of the team, but showed interest, and he stood out. So that's kind of how we picked Andres up at that race.
Okay, pretty cool. Anybody else? Anybody got a good story about how you guys met? Come on, there's got to be some good stories when guys hang out.
To join the team, I said, "Hey, please."
So we do
like a t-shirt.
No, I'm just kidding.
So we do a lot of racing. We picked up at a local multi-GP chapter race, and we raced against them. And actually, I think we had finished first, second, and third. I think it was Andres, me, and Brent at that event. And he just stood out, he chatted with us as a friendly guy, and we were looking, to start being more competitive. And so we reached out to him and invited him, and that's how Brent came on the team.
So Brent, how did you feel? It's like, did you actually want to join a team, or was it like?
Yeah, no, I did. I just, we were competing against each other, and I was like, man, these guys are cool. And it just immediately, we just clicked, and we were talking and hanging out. And then at the end of the race, it was like, hey, want to join the team? I said, sure.
Hey, why not, right?
Yeah, I mean, and it worked out, man. We're a good group.
Cool. All right. So how did the other two join in? So we got Andreas. Oh, actually, LV's the only last one. So how did LV join?
Well,
LV's an original member, but he could tell you.
yeah, I mean, it's funny how the other guys, they got handpicked, for the skills. I just got picked because they needed an extra guy.
That's not true. That's not true.
I'm in by default.
But no, I mean, that's the way it was. But now, after every practice that we do, I feel like I'm getting a little better, and I watch these guys fly, and I see how they control the quad, and I learn from them. They're like my teachers.
All right, cool. Hey, Elvin, I got a job for you. You're going to have to enroll LV into your confidence program so that, the next time we see him, he's just going to be sticking his chest out. He'll be in front of everybody on Team Capital Quads.
It might be easy, man. It might be easy. I think you got something there.
Yeah, a couple of beers will help.
Hey, we could do that.
Don't let LV deceive you. He is a technical mastermind. He hacked Betaflight and put up his own splash screen on the OSD, and yeah, LV is fast. Don't let him deceive you.
Yeah. I remember that from the racing at Dover.
Hey, that OSD was awesome.
He's no slouch. He's just quiet.
Not at all.
Slowly come up and creep up behind you and then cut your throat. Oh,
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That's LV.
Okay, so how did you guys get? Tell me the story of how it became Capital Quads as the name of the team.
So when the team came together, we bounced around ideas of what we wanted the team, and we were here where guys from all over the DC metro area. So that's it's Virginia, Maryland, DC, and so. The name Capital Quads came up, and we were like, that's it. That's perfect. Given where we at and what we want it to be. We worked on the logo. Andres kind of finalized it, and that's kind of how it came together.
So it was like everybody just kind of agreed. That sounds like a cool name, and we're just going with it.
I think it's a very representative name of what we experience as drone flyers. Leaving his area, because it's like the capital of the no-fly drones in the world. So it kind of represents the hassle we have to go through to train and to just fly.
Yeah, so like talk to me a little bit about that. Is like you guys have to fly in like garages, you have to drive out really far. How do you guys actually fly?
So Alex is the flight controller. He knows all the rules and all the laws about it.
I guess in the real world, I'm an air traffic controller at DCA. So here in the DC area, we have the restricted area, and they call it the freeze. So you can't fly within 15 miles of DCA VOR, or the navigational aid here in DCA. So we typically have to drive outside of those 15 miles to go fly. You could do it indoors. You could do it, I guess, in a parking garage, not technically within the airspace. But yeah, it's a special consideration for us here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah, it's hard. I understand that you guys. That's like when Concrete Quads was talking, they were saying that they fly a lot in parking garages. It's like that's a tough way to fly because you can break a lot of stuff.
We also have a lot of if there's if something's going on downtown with the president, there's TFRs put in place, and those affect the local AMA fields, and in some situations the airspace will get shut down from that 15 to 30 mile mark. They'll shut down the airspace all the way outside to 30 miles. Yeah, so just depends what's going on.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty tough. So you got a team together. I'm assuming you got that team together way before Dover. So how did you hear about Dover, and what said, like, was there any decision or arguing about actually going there and competing?
I remember seeing the flyer, and I think I was the first one to post it up on the our chat group. And then We just our captain, and he actually just got on it and registered.
He was all gung ho, huh? He was ready to go. You
Oh,
were ready to go, Andreas?
So it's kind of funny because Dover actually started. Well, the whole IDRA series started as one pilot who flew, and then he had like a whole team behind him, like the pit crew and who knows what else. So I actually signed in for the IDRA race, thinking it was only me as the pilot, and then picking up the rest of the guys to go and help me. But then something happened, and Justin contacted me, and he told me like, okay, so now it's not going to be a one person, just one person flying. It's going to be a team. And I was like, yeah, this is great, because you know how hard it is to actually get three more people to go and see you fly without them flying. You know how we all like to do that. That's what keeps us motivated. So it was great. I talked to the guys, and they were all over it. I mean, it was a great opportunity to get out there to fly with really great names in the FPV scene. So it was definitely very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's good.
I was going to say the Dover series was initially the meant to be a team event, but it was supposed to be a main pilot and 3 support crew, and I guess other pilots complained, and Justin changed it where everybody had to race and participate.
Yeah, it was one of the things. I don't know which pilot told me, but they were having issues. Like the pilot could get sponsored and get some reimbursement from their sponsors, but like the support couldn't get any funding. So it's like so I think there was some change to saying in order to get everybody out there and at least have some funding. I'm talking about the teams that traveled really far away. We all need to fly and be able to represent the brands that that sponsors them. So it makes a lot of sense. So okay, after Brent posted it up, Andreas, he just was right on top of it. Alex, what did you think when you first started hearing that you were going to go fly in a team match? What was your thoughts?
Oh, I was all about it. What a great chance to go to a large event. Especially in Delaware, not that far away. So I think we were actually the first team to register for it. Yes, we jumped on it. The chance for the experience and the exposure.
Pretty cool. Brent, what about you? Now you're gonna fly. Was there anything that motivated you to practice more, or were you a little scared?
Yes, I love the fact that this race, unlike any other, they actually gave the layout of the track, and most races they just won't do that. Everything is a surprise, a big secret. So I really appreciated that, and we took advantage of that. We at our training site, we tried to set up things that were very similar to the exercises and plan of this track, and we simulated it using the virtual simulator as well on the computer. Dex designed the track, and we got a lot of practice in. We were ready for that track and go.
Oh, they're pretty cool. Elvie, what about you? What did you think when they told you they were going to go to a team race and compete?
Well, I got really nervous because that would be my first time on an actual, out-of-state race. Mm-hmm. But after that, they calmed me down, and they said this is a good thing. It's like it could be a start of something. And it was really great. I learned a lot of things, how things in those races, and I also learned my weaknesses. So that's what I'm trying to improve now.
There we go. Hey, that's always the good thing, is that you learn your weaknesses and then you're willing to go out there and prove it. So once you guys got up to Dover, you saw, what the venue looked like and where you're going to be. What were your initial thoughts? Alex, I'll start with you again.
We were concerned because IDRA had published what the track was going to be like. And so, we were really concerned that it was going to end up in an obstacle course. So, personally, I was relieved when we showed up, for the location and the setup, and, and then, they ended up removing some of the obstacles within the track, which made it easier and a little faster, which I think ended up being a good thing. Yeah, so I was impressed with the setup. You know, they did a good job. Justin Idea did a good job of having the tent set up. It was a great location. Yeah, so I was impressed. I was pleased.
Cool. Andreas, what about you? What were your first initial thoughts when you got there?
So just when we got there and we actually saw the actual structure and the actual enclosing of the track, I was so relieved because about a month before IDRA, I went to a Baltimore Grand Prix, which was also enclosed, that outdoor kind of enclosed race. It was tiny, like I'm talking tiny, like you should have flown a 2-inch quad and that would have been enough. We're flying like 5-inch quads with 50, 45 degrees angle of tilt. That was crazy. So I was kind of scared to expect something like that, something really small, some small enclosure. But the actual track, it was still small compared to some of the other tracks we were used to flying. But there was enough space to actually be fast and have enough space to handle your quad around. So it was pretty good. I felt really relieved when we saw the actual track.
Cool, man. Cool. Elvie, what about you? What were your initial thoughts? Elvie?
Well, yeah. I didn't know what to expect. We actually made a track on Velocidrone, trying to like a mock-up of it. And it seemed like I was having a hard time, playing the track. But as soon as we got there, like Dex said, it was huge. Like those gates, if you didn't hit those gates, I don't know what you were doing,
They were huge gates. You're right.
Yeah, they were huge.
And then he hit a gate.
I hit a gate. I sure did. I know I did.
Hey, you know what? All the gates were easy except for the hurdle one. So I saw plenty of pings off that one. Yep, that one hurts. Brett, what about you? What'd you think when you got there?
I was impressed. I feel like they utilized that small space very well. And it made it seem twice as big. I was always paranoid to go high because of that net. And so that made me very nervous. But I have to say, I really enjoyed going through gates with multiple quads, because in multi GP tracks, you really can't do that as much. You can't go through a single gate with like 3 other quads, so that I would like to see that more. Bigger gates, so I can fly through the gates with other quads and not have to worry about hitting one.
Yeah, mid-air collisions, with the smaller gates is always an issue with that. But you're right. It's like 5x5 gates. Sometimes you do need to lay off until you pass that gate.
You have to lay off and let people go. And
Yep, definitely. So going in, hey, this is you, team captain Andreas. Like going in, what was your strategy once you saw the track and you looked at it and you knew you had to pit? What was the team strategy?
So there we knew what we had to do. There was really big names out there, so we knew we had to go for consistency. We didn't have to fight being the fastest in the track, just because how the qualifiers and how getting to the semifinals and finals structure was. So, and we actually did pretty good. We end up qualifying 3rd, above lots of other teams. So we were very excited that we were able to do the whole consistency strategy we were planning. We also planned. We also tried practicing the pit stop, which was like a completely new thing for every single team. I don't know if any other team have flown any races with pit stops. And then we have the double pigtails as well. You can unplug the battery and plug a new one. You have to keep continuous power going into the quad. So it was definitely a race where strategy made a difference. Like it did make a huge difference to qualify.
Definitely. So what'd you guys think? The rest of the team, it's like, how did it work out, being in the pits and trying to swap out that battery? Was it a fun experience for all, or was it something that was really intense, and it was just very difficult to to get your head wrapped around the first time.
I had fun. Dangerous but fun.
Dangerous but fun.
Same here. Personally, I kind of like mixing up the just racing with something else like pit stops. But I think the actual infrastructure and where the pits were located at, and how you have to retrieve the quad and all that process, it wasn't as secure as we as a team would have liked. Because there's 4 quads basically on top of you, and you want to keep your head in the right spot, So
you remember that's because you had to dive out of the way, didn't you?
A couple of times.
Yeah, not just once, but a couple of times. Me. Yeah. Was it your pilots that you had to dive out of the way, or somebody else's?
I'll just keep that for another time.
I think that was their strategy. Yeah, almost take the pilot out, the pit crew out.
No.
That's funny. Okay, so let me ask you this: if it only came down to one race at that Dover Speedway, who would you guys put in the pits? You had 2 people. Who would it be? Who was the best pitters on your team?
So I think we were all really trained on how to do stuff. So it didn't matter who's pitting, who was spotting. It was more kind of preference who wanted to pick what. Ask. We were all doing a great job sincerely. We kind of nailed down the process of retrieve and up the batteries, and by the end of the race, we were making really quick pit stops.
No, I think everybody really definitely sped up in the back end. It was really good. And like you said, you qualified 3rd, so you are already doing something right. And actually, all of the Maryland teams were doing stuff right because all of you were fast. But yeah, it's kind of to be expected. You guys are a pretty competitive group. But okay, I'm putting you on the spot, Captain. You got to pick 2 people. Who are you gonna pick? See, look, now he doesn't want that title.
Yeah, you're mean. So I don't know. I would put myself and someone else helping me because I like to do things. I don't know. I like the pit stop without the getting your head chopped out of yourself.
You're funny. All right, who would volunteer to be in the pits? Come on, so one of you guys got to volunteer with Captain here. Oh, look, Brett.
Look, Brent, Alex.
See,
Alex, I got to say, Brent, Alex is like, I don't want to be.
I don't think we had a problem with it because we had come up with simple communication. Yep. And I had planned ahead, and I was like, this race is going to be loud. I grew up going to college really close to Daytona 500 Speedway, the Daytona Speedway. And from that experience, I knew how loud it could be. So, I had come up with the idea of ordering, a little cheap set of walkie-talkies off of Amazon, and that came in super handy. But even then, we came up with very simple kind of ways to communicate because I expected that there was going to be it was going to be too loud just to kind of, be able to communicate with the pilot stand in the pits. And once we kind of got used to the little pigtail, I don't think we had a single complaint amongst us about our pitting, and once we got down, once we figured it out and got our times down, I think everybody did really well. We did not struggle with it. Yeah.
See, everybody knows what this means now, right? Everybody knows what that means.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, send them props, right?
We look like monkeys doing all that sort of, different signs. It was funny.
Go ahead, why?
No, I'm glad you guys even, were smart enough to bring walkie-talkies, right? Because every once in a while, you just need to communicate with your navigator and your pilot. It's like, hey, how come you haven't started yet? It's like, what's going on? It's like, we're sitting over here in the drenching sun.
It was for that extra stuff. If something popped up and you didn't have, little sign for a little sign language, it was for that extra stuff, and they came in handy. I mean, we did use them for that. So.
Now, let me ask you a question. For everybody that piloted, did you think the beanbags was enough of a target for you to be able to land? Because, some people came in really hot, and they literally bounced off that corkboard, and, their quad rolled, 8 feet. I'm like, oh, well, it's back on the track again.
I don't think anyone was
I
expected to see it.
I didn't think it was. I think it was hard to kind of hit them. They were probably better off sending some, in the initial diagram that they had sent out, there was supposed to be, what was depicted was a pit lane. You would actually kind of pull off and slow down, and maybe if they had set up, a padded area or thrown down just a long rug or something where people could have touched down in front of that pit area, that would have probably been better. I mean, I saw pilots straight hit the boards, trying to hit the beanbag and, break stuff or bend a prop or.
Yeah, I think the actual beanbag being a small target wasn't actually the problem, because if we would have known beforehand, we could have actually thought about it and maybe practice with something else or get a beanbag or something. But just finding out the day of the race and, the nerves and all of that stuff, aiming for a really small spot, trying to coming hot and then pulling out and still land on the beanbag. It was definitely a challenge. I think I landed on the beanbag once, I bounced, and I clipped the board, the wood board, popped out of my butt. I was like, no, I landed so softly. Why? So yeah, it was a challenge. It was a challenge.
Definitely.
Yeah. So who was the best at hitting the actual beanbag? Was there anybody that was really good at it?
I don't think anyone really hit that bag.
I don't think so either.
Personally, I ended up opting for just making a go around and then sliding through the concrete and trying to get close to my pit crew.
Yeah,
because just the beanbag wasn't I don't know.
Okay,
yeah.
I was just curious. I saw a lot of sliding. I saw a lot of dunk, and there was a few people that were actually really good, but when they missed it, they broke stuff.
Hard. When they missed, it was bad. It was all bad. But hey, some people did hit that bag and bounced off, and then it was not many though.
It was tough. And talk to me about the other teams. When you were going through that experience, did you learn stuff from the other teams as you were going through qualifying that you kind of what, we need to change up our strategy and move faster here, do this better there? Or did you just stick with your own strategy and it just brought you into third as a qualifier?
I think we kind of stuck with the strategy, maybe. That I remember. I think everybody was kind of learning how to figure out, what to do, how to best pit and get out of there quickly.
Plus, we were battling a really bad video because we had all the NASCAR thing going on, right besides us. So it was challenging, but we kept with the initial plan, and it worked out. There was nothing in between when we started and we qualified that made us think we needed to change this. Our initial plan was the right plan to get us qualified.
Pretty cool. All right, so I'm gonna ask all of you 2 questions, and I'll let all of you answer. It's one thing that you like the most, and one thing that they could improve upon. Alex, I'm gonna start with you. One thing that you like the most, one thing that you think they can improve upon.
I loved the setting. We must have had hundreds, if not thousands, of people because of where it was set up there in the fan zone, right next to, the Monster Energy, Jump Demo and Verizon, and people coming through there. I like that they've signed a multi-year, I think it's a 3-year contract with them to have it again. I think the location was great. What I dislike the most, being kind of their first try, at this location and this event, getting it running initially and, in practice, it wasn't very organized. The staff that were there, some showed that they didn't have experience. So, at times, I was announcing how much time was left for the practice session. Initially there was some back and forth as to, bad video and reruns and how people were doing. And so initially at first it seemed a little more relaxed. And then towards the end, moving into the last day, more strict. So I just like that.
Okay, pretty cool. All right, Andreas, what about you?
I think we as a team all shared the same feeling about the race. That the setting was just superb. I mean, being there right besides the NASCAR track and having all that people coming to watch the drone races and just the setting in specific, like the track, how it was mounted, us getting our pits with those white things. I can't remember the name. It was great. It was a great setting. But farther going through what Alex said, it was hard not having information being said through a speaker or something. So we had to constantly be looking for information and going to ask people. So you're trying to race, you're trying to do all this stuff, get your quads ready. There's a lot that goes on behind the racetrack when you're not flying. So then we had to add the what's next, what's happening, how do the brackets work, because there was a lot of information that wasn't presented to us beforehand that was actually given the day of the race and further modified during the race. So there was a lot of things that were out there in the air that nobody knew what was happening. So you had to constantly be on top and trying to find out information. All of these could have been worked out if there was someone on a microphone from the race, because I know you guys did a great job commentating and giving some information about the race, but you actually need someone from the organizers on a microphone letting people know, like, okay, we'll start at 9. Or if you don't start at 9, you say, like, okay, we'll delay the start at 10, or race brackets starting to work like this. This are the qualified teams. Like, just like normal information you expect as a pilot and as a team to receive from an organization.
No, I totally agree. Like, one of the things that we would love to commentate on was, like, who was first in points and stuff like that and the breakdown of that. But even we were a little confused because there was, like, literally Justin was the only person that can do the calculations, and it was a pain to actually track him down every single time. It's like, how did the points break down? It's like, you just give up. It's like, okay, we'll just figure it out when he stops running around, because literally he had a notebook and it was like the golden treasure, because if he lost that, then nobody would know.
It was done.
No, that's not true. Actually, the computer captured everything, but it was tough. Okay. Oh, sorry. Did somebody else?
I was gonna say we could clearly hear you guys commentating about the race, and given the environment there with the next to the track and Red Bull playing the Monster Energy playing the music, it was tough. It was tough to hear what was going on. So no announcements, and they pulled out a little bullhorn, but if you weren't paying attention to your heats or what was going on, you were gonna miss it. So I think they missed an opportunity there for that.
Yeah, that's gonna need to be improved upon, but that's really us trying to be a little bit more organized. It definitely didn't start off smoothly, but like most drone races don't start off smoothly. That's just life. That's just we're kind of used to that, but it really did get better by the end of Saturday and Sunday. I think everything actually. I'm kind of surprised how fast the finals went. I mean, it just blew right
we
by.
Were like, what?
It's like we were done. It's like I don't know. I thought Sunday ran really smoothly. I thought we were fast. What about you guys?
Already? Damn it!
But okay, LV, what'd you like? What you don't like? What you got?
Well, what I liked about it was the place where they put the track, where thousands of people walking by and and they want to check it out. But what I did not like was, if you're standing on a cage, and you can follow those quads flying fast, even if they were flying slower, it's hard to chase them around. So a nice set of monitors,
for spectators.
Yeah, so that way they could see what's happening, because most of them they just walked away after like 5 minutes of just standing over there and just listening to the propellers and
Cool. Yeah, that's true. Anything else you want to say?
That's it, I guess.
Okay, Brent, what about you?
Hey, I like most of my teammates said, I really liked the location, and I liked most of pretty much everything about the race. What I didn't like for a first event and for a bunch of guys, and not just us, all the other teams that went to this event. This is something that we were doing for the first time. So I feel like they got down to a point where, the day before they were lax, and the next day you were super strict. I feel like, hey, you should pick one. If it was super strict and we have to be on the line at a certain time, if that was the way it was from the get-go, then hey, that's what we know and that's what we're doing. If from day one you have a blowhorn, you're announcing heats, then hey, stick to that. But to cut that out and to switch things up moving forward, I think it was tough. It was tough for us to adjust to that, and that's the one thing I just didn't like.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, I understand that, and it's well, actually, to tell you the truth, like in order to, I don't know, to present ourselves professionally, we have to be strict all of the time. That's just life, because we have to be in sync with somebody else's schedule. Like, I mean, I think you all know this, right? Like when Monster Energy, when they want to start up and you seeing, a snowmobile doing a backflip, it's hard not to get distracted by something like that, right? So it's like we need to have their schedule and our schedule synced up, and we need to make sure that we run on that schedule. And that's something that hopefully, Justin figures out. But for first year, it ran better than I thought. I don't know about you guys if you want to perk up on that, but I thought overall it was actually a really well run event.
Overall, I'm happy. I had the most fun I've ever had in a while at that event, and I'm ready to do it again.
The first day was definitely hectic, but
it was a little slow.
It just fell into shape. That's why I always look at it like that. It's like these races, when they first get there, most of the time these crews, it's not the same crew going from place to place, so you have to kind of understand that every time this guy goes to another city, there's a different crew, so sometimes you have to be a little lenient on getting things squared away. But I guess he could be more professional in the beginning and run a tighter ship in the beginning. But I think it's just the fact that they had a short period of time to put that course together. And when me and Y got there, it was like, holy crap, they're doing this all by themselves. It just blew us away.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. Actually, Elvin, I haven't actually asked you this question. Your favorite like and dislike. What do you got?
Mine, I think my favorite was the fact that the crowd stuck around. We had, 4 rows of people for a while. I think that was the thing that got me most excited. And then the dislike was me and your ass on that hot ass stage.
I feel bad for you guys.
I don't know how you made it through the entire weekend.
Holy crap, dude! I was up there sweating.
Hell, right there.
Holy crap!
That's why I brought you guys water. I'm like, man, these guys are out here with no shade. I was like, I'm gonna bring in some water.
I came home 3 shades extra dark. You know what I mean?
I still have quite the tan. I'm usually pretty white, but this year, tan, not a problem.
Yeah, I was like, damn. I was like, oh my God, this sucks, but we're here and we're gonna get it done. And we did. You know?
Trust me, we were nowhere near as good as where we wanted to be. We had this elegant schedule that we wanted to present, and then all of a sudden it just went cut. It's didn't work. It's
but honestly, you guys gave that race the whole perspective for spectators and for us as well as pilots. You guys did a great job.
It was a lot of fun. It was, and
we want to do it again.
Yeah, and it's actually great when you guys showed up all with your Capital Quads t-shirts, and it was easy to tell you guys apart, along with some of the other teams. And it made actually, I hope Justin enforces that, because it makes it easier. Because when I see you guys down in the pit lane and you're all wearing the same shirt, I can tell that you guys just came in, you're pitting, and then I can call you guys out, and then when you lift off and stuff like that. But like when everybody on the team is having a different T-shirt, it's like,
it's hard.
Which team's he on? It's like,
yeah.
Other than that, though, okay.
A lot of us look alike.
A lot of, well, yeah, you know, it is okay. 4 more questions that I'm. Hey, LV, you there? I'm gonna pick on you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. Since you don't have, since I already picked on Andrea, so I'm gonna pick on you now. I got 4 questions that you have to answer top of your head, and it's all about your team. You ready?
Yeah.
Fastest pilot on your team.
Dex.
Okay. Best looking on television.
Brent.
Oh, Brent, you got one. Elby, that was the one you're supposed to pick yourself. That's how it works.
Oh, this is not going to end.
Okay, LV. Funniest person on the team.
That'll be me, I guess.
Oh, there we go. We got one. Yeah. Okay. Last one. Who likes to practice the most?
We all like to practice.
Oh, look at this. He's trying to be good. He doesn't want to get anybody's bad side. That's a cop-out question. Come on, you got to pick one.
If we have the chance, okay. Let's see. Brent again.
Oh man, Brent, you're the superstar of this team. We just picked a winner. Alex, you got to step up your game, man.
Well, Brent's been competing. You guys have been competing pretty well the last couple of weeks, right? Well, didn't you guys like 2 weeks ago win a competition multi-GP race?
We had a Dex. Then Dex won. Dex always places at every race, so
I try my best. I try my best.
Yeah.
We try to get around to all the local chapters. You know, Dex qualified at Delaware, Brent qualified at MQR, and we always try to make every local race. Yeah.
Definitely. So
yeah, that's what I was looking at. I saw that both of you guys, Dex and Brent, you qualified for the regionals. So that's good work, man. Y'all been out there turning them batteries over, man.
Yeah, let's get into that a little bit. It's like for you, Andreas and Brent, multi-GP qualifiers, is that like the next thing on your list to try to tackle, and as a team and even as individually?
So definitely schedule-wise, that's the closest thing we have. That's on the 29th, so that's 2 weeks from now. We're definitely be practicing a lot, just focusing on different drills to get that track. That's the cool thing about qualifier, that we know the track,
right?
So we know what to expect. So yeah, we've been practicing a lot. So we hope, and well, we're sure we're going to do great at the qualifier.
Oh yeah.
What about you, Brent? Is this your goal now at this point to make sure you can get into the Reno finals?
Yeah. I'm in a super competitive mode, and my teammates, they've been pushing me. To be honest, I'll be there practicing, and like Alex will see me moving like a turtle, and he'll get in my ear and give me some tips, and not because he's being mean. He genuinely wants to see me fly like Dex.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate the push, and it shows. We've been putting videos up constantly of our practice sessions, and you can see the speed in everyone getting faster.
Yeah, I'll say this, that since you guys left Delaware, I kind of been watching you guys. Like some of y'all, we had pretty good connections in the interviews and stuff like that. So I've been kind of watching and seeing what's going on and following you guys. And your times are getting smaller, and you guys are getting more fluid. And it's real nice to see that when you guys come together and you work together as a unit, you actually cause each pilot to excel, and everybody moves forward together. You know what I mean? And that's what that great teamwork you guys have been working on has been doing. It's really nice to know and see what you guys are doing.
To the point where I've noticed just recently, big names in the business have been commenting on our practice videos, and that feels good. feels really good, that these guys are getting involved in chat groups and talking to us, and I feel respected.
You
To be
feel
honest.
respected.
Nice.
That's because
That's
they're
good.
checking out the competition because it's getting real now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I gotta watch out for that sucker right there, boy.
That's what it is, man. There's not that many spots if you think about it, to
Yeah.
try to get there. And what's nice about it is even if you don't make it as a qualifier, you can still go to Reno and try to pick it up on the Hot 66. I can't remember what they're called, but
the Fast 60, the UTT route.
Yep, but even then, that's going to be really difficult because there's going to be plenty of people.
I think Fast 60 will be definitely harder to get in than just going straight from qualifiers. I actually have both of my UTT times in, and I already bought my ticket just as a plan B just in case something goes wrong at regional finals. But hoping, crossing fingers, that won't be necessary.
Man, Andres is like, I'm going no matter what. I'm going to go.
Believe me, I'm going to Reno.
I'm going to Reno.
Take my word, I'm going.
Is the rest of the team already booked up to go, or is it just you?
No, we're planning. We're waiting for finals to go and see what happens. Yeah, definitely Brent and me are going. I think Alex is going to tag along, and probably Elvie too, right? Elvie got me on the hot seat.
I'll do my best to keep it together.
There we go. He'll be the moral support,
Right.
if he doesn't want to race. So, how do you guys practice? Do you guys just randomly plop down a track and just go for it, fastest guy, and then just keep motivating, or how does it work?
That's Brent's department.
Yeah, we recently got a bunch of the new ready-made RC quad addiction gates, and we have a ton. And we got to the point where we're like, well, we have all these gates. Let's start setting up some crazy courses. And so Brent's been really good about setting stuff up.
So what do you like to set up, Brent? Do you like super small technical, big sweepy? What do you usually set up?
A bit of both. We have sections, so it'll be a technical section, and then we enjoy speed. So then we have a long stretch where we get to really destroy batteries. So yeah,
to the battery sponsors.
But we find that what benefits us more lately is making them tighter. Because a lot of these tracks that we go to, the people that put on these events, they try their best to utilize the space that's given to them, and it's usually tight. So we just got to prepare ourselves for these tight tracks.
True enough. And it's always good. Now, one question that I'm going to ask, because we kind of brought this up at the beginning, is that all of you have family lives. All of you are married. It's kind of tough when you're married like that. So, talk to me about the other side. Your spouses, how do they like your little quad addictions? Alex, start us off.
I like to say the key is just as hard as you work out on the field flying or put it in practice, you got to work just as hard at home, and keep the wife happy at home. You keep flying.
Right.
There you go. That's good advice right there, folks. And it's
so she'll probably listen to this. So I'd like to thank my wife very much for supporting what is not
number one sponsor.
Bonus
my
points.
One sponsor of my wife, Sarah. Thank you very much for supporting me and what I do and what I like. My drone racing.
Sarah, that's not what he said at the beginning. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. All right, Andreas, what about you? How's the work-life balance, work-life family balance?
So work is kind of good because I basically own my own schedule. So it's easy to, if I decide to go and practice during the morning, then do extra hours during the afternoon. That's no problem. With the family, with my wife, I can tell you I'm pro level at washing dishes now. I've gotten really, really good. No. Kidding aside, I actually kind of sort of got into the hobby because she gave me my first pair of goggles for Christmas 2 years ago.
Nice.
So she's been super supportive. She's seen how involved I've gotten into the hobby with the community. Like you said, this is an addiction. I've always been competitive. I've done dirt bikes, bicycles, any kind of racing you can think of. I've done it. But I've never got so involved with one hobby in specific. I've always done several things at the same time, but right now it's all about FPV. Like all of my energy when it's not work or wife or it's all FPV. So yeah, it's number one sponsor, right? Number one sponsor.
Hey, that's what you got to do in order to stay at the top. You know, if you want a podium every time, you got to put in the hours.
Yeah,
it's tough. What about you, LV? How's the family life?
Well, I'm still trying to find a balance because I get up in the morning, I get my coffee, and before FPV and all this stuff, I will say, kids, let's go and go to the park, take you here, there. But now it's like, I try not to wake him up, make any noise, and I get my stuff and get out.
Just sneaks out.
LV Ninja, he's like sneaks right on out with the quads.
This habit is kind of like taking over. I'm driving, and I see this thing poking me in the back, and I'm like, what the hell is this? A freaking gate, So it's just about finding a balance, and I'm not there yet, so I'm working on it. Right?
He's working on it.
Hey, you know what? You do what you got to do. That's good to hear. Brent, what about you?
Hey, most of last winter, my team didn't hear from me. My son has lymphoblastic leukemia. So for the past 2 years, I've really been involved with, hospital visits. At one point, I was basically living in the hospital as my son stayed there. So it was a long stretch of time that went by where I stayed off of our messaging app. But now that he's getting better and things are getting back in order this year, obviously they see the extra effort that I've made, and my wife has supported me as well. She recently told me that she notices that if I don't fly, I get really depressed.
You get cranky, huh?
Cranky. You don't want to see Brent cranky.
Yeah.
He turns his camera angle down when he gets cranky.
Oh boy.
Brent, best wishes from us on hopefully a healthy child going forward and all that. And definitely, you always need some R&R time to get away, especially for stressful things like that.
Appreciate it.
So cool. Glad you
watch out for my son, because right now he can fly a Inductrix line of sight around the house with no problem. So,
nice.
Superstar in the making. There we go.
I got a question for you guys too. What is the thing that has made you the better pilot today in the last, and it's got to be something in the last 3 months, right? So in the last 3 months, what has made you a better pilot, Alex? What is that?
I guess here's an insight into my personal life. My son passed away in April, and it's given me perspective as to not only doing things you enjoy or spending time with family, or certainly made priorities and focus. But it's also kind of given me a drive to do something that I like doing, for a purpose. It's given me a purpose. Not specifically, in his memory, but just kind of doing something you like doing, living life and doing something you like doing. So it's, it's kind of, I've turned that into my drone racing, and it's just not a hobby for me, but a passion.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's got to suck, to have that happen, and I'm so sorry that you had to go through that, but. Brent, what about you, man? What's that thing that in the last 3 months that has given you that extra lock-in, whatever, the thing that you can contribute your better flying to?
I made it I guess I described myself one day and they laughed at me as letting my hair down. And I'm just, you should see the names and the pictures they put up. No,
Fabio.
Oh my God.
Just the fear of this camera angle that just pushes you forward, because, hey, once you put that angle up, the quad just moves. I had to just kind of let go of the fear of speed and just get used to it. Just get used to it. And I've just been forcing myself to do that. And I'd say every week I can feel myself going faster and faster. So I'm just sticking with it,
Nice. What about you, Alfie? I'm sure Brent's always out in the front, and you got to catch up to him sometimes, because he does have that, that natural speed. I noticed that at Dover, and I talked to you about that when you let loose and you was just kind of like just flying. You seem to be a much faster, much more fluid pilot, Brent. And so, Alfie, what do you think is the thing that helps you keep ahead of Brent or keep up with Brent when Brent's running next, trying to run Andreas down?
Well, it's seeing all these people fly, as my friends, and that motivates me. Like if I go to a park over here around my house, I can burn a few packs and everything, but nothing is pushing me. So I'm just gonna be flying around like crazy and not learning anything. But if I fly with these guys, I feel that rush, that I need to keep up with them, and that pushes me. And I've seen that it's been working out. I can tell. I can take the course a little easier, and I still need to improve on some things. That's what they tell me. But I try to work on those problems.
Cute.
Wow. That's great. Andreas, so lastly, because I can tend to hold up this whole conversation and run another 2 hours into the podcast, and why I don't like it, because he's got to do the editing. So
Yes, I do.
Yeah. That's the cool thing about being on my side of the podcast. I just get to show up and do research on you guys and talk to you guys off camera, because usually that's when I'm better at it. I can be myself. But Andreas, what is the thing that has given you the most advantage of being where you're at now on the in the 1, 2, and 3 podium position?
So I think it's a combination of first of all, time, stick time. Finally, and that's super, super odd you say it, like about 3 months ago, I started feeling one with the quad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, you're not thinking what you're doing, you're just doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You just fly how your mind thinks you're flying, and the quad does it. So that has definitely changed my flying style and my speed, and trying to push harder and not just think about going through the gate, but thinking about what I want to do on this gate, so then I can take that gate, and I know that guy's there, and I want to overtake him at the next gate. So you're not thinking on flying anymore. You're just flying, and then thinking about the other stuff that makes you a competitive pilot. And definitely just the community. The Maryland, Virginia, and DC community, the pilots, they're just great, and they're just a fast bunch. So as a healthy competitiveness, it's just good to go out there and race every other weekend and just get beat, because then you want to get better, so you train harder and you get outside of your comfort zone and just push harder. And just these guys that are here, they're just a cool bunch of guys, and get that energy. You just enjoy going out and flying, and while you're flying, you're training and you're getting better. So it's just a thing, evolution of the pilot. So yeah.
One of the things that I can contest to that, as you watch all these new pilots come up, I kind of spent a lot of time behind the wheel racing cars and dirt bikes and, go-karts when I was a kid, and, because I went to school to, learn how to drive and this, that, and the other. I know these words, the fundamentals of racing and, how to look for a hole shot and all of this. And one of the things that I've noticed in the last couple of months is that you guys have started to utilize the lingo. You guys are talking more like racers today, than anybody was back, say, like a year ago. There's more of you guys in that elite group. Let's just say there's, I would classify pilots today as there's like 4 levels. There's the noob guys, which that doesn't mean that they don't have any skills. It's just that they're new, right? We're and we can contest that as you continue to practice every day, you get better and you become a better pilot. And it's just inherent with learning how to fly. And the more you fly, the better you get at being a racing pilot or a 3D pilot, depending on where you want to go. But you guys are like coming together. Then there's like, the novice guys, where the guys that like to race and they do well at races, but they're not really into racing. You know what I mean? They just show up for the race and they have fun and they go home and they do their normal weekly job or whatever. And then there's those racers, those guys that you see week after week at the course, pushing hard, practicing hard, and learning. I think there's more of you guys starting from that area to the, like, where you have, like Brian Morris and I think there's more of you guys in that area now than where 2 years ago there was more of everybody in the first 2 stages.
Yeah, the thing is, 2 years ago the sport wasn't in diapers. It was new, so everyone started from zero and collectively just started becoming faster. Mm. But now, 2 years after, and with all the hard work getting better, like quads, more technology, better stuff, cheaper stuff too.
Right, true that.
Collectively, the whole FPV community has just become so fast. So now to keep up with the top guys, you gotta like really be on it, like really be involved in practicing and training and just burning batteries like crazy, putting that stick time. But yeah, definitely, I think the level as a community has just increased exponentially from last year. Like qualifying for last year's championships was a piece of cake compared to the level of competition for this year.
Right. True that. Don't you think? Why?
No, I definitely agree. It's actually really good to see, because that the level of playing field is starting to get elevated, so that there's more room for people to grow on the bottom, but there's also, much tougher competition and much better competition at the top. And it just remains to be seen if we can have, more competitive events to really showcase everybody's talents, right? Because that's what we really need at this point, is that we need more big events like Dover, in which everybody can really show off, like there's, 200 pilots that on any given Sunday can compete and can potentially win. And that's what I'm looking forward to. And hopefully, we'll get to the point where we're going to have some really great national competitive races, in every region, not just one to sum up all of it. I'm talking like, okay, so let me give an example. I'm talking about like college football, in which, you have like 4 bowls that represent the pinnacle of, racing or, sports, in which, if you go to any of the 4 big bowls, you're still a champion. There may be one that says you're the elite, but you're still a winner at the end of the day, because like to say that, hey, we have 2,000 pilots and only one of you can be the winner, that kind of sucks. I'm sorry.
Right.
It does.
And it's costly, because like, me and Y, we've traveled, to big races, a little further, than some. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap, and all these remote places, and getting there, and you got to feed yourself, and it gets costly, and it can add up real quick. I can tell you, but if things continue on the path that they have been going, I wonder whether or not it's going to be a completely positive thing for this year. I mean, there is some great races going on, and there's some great pilots out there, and DRL is doing really well right now, which, can help out another league startup probably next year. You know what I mean? If they see somebody else sees that as viable, they could start up another league. So I think this drone racing is just doing so much better, but it all comes down to you guys, man. You guys, how hard you guys work, and that's where it's coming at.
Yeah. I definitely hope that DRL, they get a longer pilot roster, because there's plenty of people vying for a chance to get up to that spotlight, because this year it's actually not that bad. You got 2 from Europe, a few extra pilots from all over the region, but like their selection process, I don't understand it at all, but that's a different story. that's a different story, because I know most of those pilots, and I'm like, how did they get there? But anyways, let's start wrapping up. I mean, a few of them are pretty obvious, but some of them was kind of mind boggled the mind. Alex, if somebody wanted to reach out to Capital Quads, or they just want to reach out to you, how can they reach you?
capitalquads@gmail.com. We do have a website. It's a little outdated, but we're constantly working on things. We have an Instagram as well. I believe it's Capital Quads, on Instagram as well. Personally, I'm pretty active on my personal Instagram, Scud Runner. I post a lot of stuff on there, videos of us practicing, or, my current build, or, little mini reviews of stuff that I've tried, and, what I think of it. I think we have a Facebook page as well. We're not terribly active on there. But capitalquads@gmail.com, if you're trying to reach us, is the best way.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Andreas, Dex FPV, how can people reach you?
DexFP.com. That's the easiest way to access all of my media. I have links to YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, everything, all the whole deal. Even Capital Quad's site. I would also like to take advantage of this time to make an announcement. I recently got picked by Surge at Pyroflip as a pirate team pilot. So go Pyroflip. Thanks, Surge, for reaching out. And yeah, you'll definitely be looking at more new stuff coming out. So
man, that guy's been on Team Spectrum for
Hey, Alex, you gotta.
I know, because he's like, we were on the same team. We were on Team Spectrum together at Nationals 2015. Serge, Josh Moore, Aaron Schill, and the son, and Taylor. We were all on the same team. That guy's been just killing it.
That's right. Hey, Alex, you better put a GPS collar on Andreas. Make sure he's not cheating on your team or anything like that.
Oh no, I do a lot of representing for him, and guys on the team, and advising them, and getting on them about their Instagram, and make sure you're showing the team shirt and photos, and yeah, I do a lot of that.
That's great. Hey, you know what? Yeah, you got to get on that stuff. That's how you get around in this business. Yep. You got to really stay on top of all of the social media nowadays. All right.
Hey, before we go, you guys watch out soon. We're going to have a t-shirt.
Nice. Can't wait.
Hey, that's all you. Right. LV, it's LV. Where can we reach out to you?
You can just reach me at Instagram at Igniter. I'm starting to work on my social media active. Yeah.
It's a lot of work. I understand. I actually have learned to hate social media this year.
Exhausting.
It is exhausting. Yeah. Brent, what about you? Where can we reach out to you?
Brent FPV on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook as well.
Okay. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm telling you this right now. When you get up to DRL, they're gonna make you change your name, so you better be thinking of something too. I'm saying,
Captain Morgan.
Fabio.
Got to get something aggressive.
Fabio.
Okay, cool. Any last words before we cut out for this podcast? We're already like an hour and a half in, so we've been doing good. No,
No, definitely.
Nah, everybody
Go
like.
ahead.
I was going to say, I'd like to thank our local organizers, Maryland Quad Racers. The reason you see a lot of fast guys coming out of, the DC metro area, Maryland, it is due to Matt. He sets up, he runs a tight ship. He runs a great chapter. If you go to his races, his courses are not easy. They are technical. They are hard. And also NVRC out in Fairfax, Virginia, they're up and going. They're running a good event and getting good participation. Yeah.
cool. Anybody else?
Yeah, you want to be fast, guys. Just get out there and practice. We average 16 packs, 20 packs per session each. Don't be that guy in the corner hoping that the fast guy crashes so you can get ahead. Don't be that guy. Take charge. Keep practicing. You'll get faster.
That's good words, man. Good words.
Elby?
Yeah, what Brent said, just keep practicing. Practice makes perfect. And that is true on this sport.
Very true.
That's right. Yeah, and to wrap up, just give you guys a thank you for having us here. Also for all the great work you did at the IDRA race. It was really good, really, really good. And we definitely enjoy listening to your podcast. It's one of the best out there.
Well,
Thanks.
Yeah, we appreciate that, and hopefully, we'll get to see you guys either in like one of the multi-GP races this year again, or at least next year in Dover again, because hey, it's right up your alley, right?
Yeah.
Yep, we'll be there.
Yeah. Hey, and you got to beat Expert Drones because they're talking a lot of trash,
we're getting there. Yep.
Down.
Hey, those guys are fast too. But all right, we are cutting out. Thank you so much, Capital Quads, for showing up and partaking in your knowledge. And we definitely hope to see you guys keep racing for 2017, and we'll see you guys back up in Dover in 2018. And you stop taking pictures. I don't know what you're doing. All right,
Social media.
We are cutting out. Have a good one, guys.
Thank you, guys.